Hi, this is King of Review. Simplify 0.12, where the 1-2 has a repeating bar above it. So 0.12 with the repeating bar, this is equal to 0.121212, and this keeps repeating. The 1-2 keeps repeating here. So what I want to do is represent this repeating decimal as a sum of different terms. When we represent it as a sum of different terms, it represents an infinite geometric series. So let's look at the first portion of this repeating decimal, 0.12. We're going to call this our first term, so A1. Now for the second term, what could we add to this first term to get the second portion here of our repeating decimal? Well, we could add 0.0012. That represents the second portion, and A1 represented this portion here. And now for A3, or the third term, how could we represent this portion of the repeating decimal? We represent it as 0.000012. And for A4, how do we represent this portion of the repeating decimal? We would represent it as 0.00000012. So you can see that for each term here, it will represent a different portion of this repeating decimal. And we could continue with this and keep going with this, which represents the infinite many number of terms in this series. So if we were to add up all of these numbers here, the first term, the second term, the third term, the fourth term, and keep going, this would give us the sum of this series. So let's use the equation for the sum of an infinite geometric series to simplify this repeating decimal. We'll use the equation S equals A1 over 1 minus R, the sum of an infinite geometric series with first term A1 and a common ratio of R. So we're going to use this equation to simplify this repeating decimal. And we've come up with our terms already. So now what we need to do is figure out what the common ratio is. The common ratio here can be determined using the equation R equals A2 over A1. So I'm taking the second term and I'm dividing it by its previous term, which is A1. So we have A2, which is 0.0012, and this is divided by A1, which is 0.12. When you divide this out, you'll get 0.01, and this is the common ratio. Now you could have used other values to determine the common ratio. For instance, R equals A4 over its previous term, which is A3. So when you divide these numbers out, you would get 0.01, which is the common ratio that we found here. So it doesn't matter which terms you choose as long as the denominator is the previous term of the numerator. So now that we know what the common ratio is, we can figure out the sum. The sum equals A1, which is the first term, 0.12, divided by 1 minus the common ratio, which is 0.01. This equals 0.12 divided by 0.99. And to get rid of these decimals, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 100. And this will give us 12 over 99. So this repeating decimal can be simplified to 12 over 99, which is letter B. Thanks for watching.